Hello, this is the Side Show. I'm Theodore Parker, and today is Wednesday, October 26, 2022. Around here, the temperature is about 45 degrees, going up to 58. A little bit chilly today. I've been kind of back and forth, warm days, cool days. It's a little overcast today. Got a various amount of situations to talk with you about today, but we'll start out with the mask. Again, if in your area the COVID-19 positivity rate is above 5%, suggestion from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, is that you mask up if you're going to go around other people. Speaking of masks, medical staffers, medical personnel are saying now that we're heading into the RSV, respiratory seasonal virus time. Flu shots are available, but having just come through a round of COVID-19 and its variants, that there may be additional concern for young people, school age especially, and some preschoolers to be alert to increased temperatures, difficulty breathing, some extreme cases. There may be a blue tint to the lips. So all these things are related to respiratory seasonal viruses, the flu included. I did get my flu shot, so I was like a little bit off center for a few days, but I feel okay now. That's my usual go-to thing, so I took care of it. This time was at the local Walmart. They offered that along with other services at their pharmacy department. So you may want to take advantage of that or not. If you're watching on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram, please like, comment, and share. If you are watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, the Sideshow coffee cup is available at $8. Text me, and we'll work out the details. News items. It is a cross-section according to my choice today. I wanted to start out with this one because with so much back and forth in the news, I wasn't sure if I had all the details and the timeline in the proper order. Yay or nay, Kanye West? Kanye West is cut from Forbes billionaire list after Adidas termination leaves him with an estimated $400 million net worth. And it's funny how these articles are playing back and forth, because after I read this article, I found another article where Kanye was expressing himself as saying that he was not going to take back his anti-Semitic comments, and he didn't think that anybody was going to retaliate, especially like Adidas. So here we go. Kanye West is no longer a billionaire, according to Forbes magazine. The publication officially denounced the rapper's billionaire status on Tuesday afternoon, following a string of conflicts with West in recent weeks, including the termination of his long-standing Adidas partnership. Forbes estimated last April that the deal contributes $1.5 billion to his $2 billion net worth, according to its annual billionaires list assessment. According to the magazine, West's net worth is now estimated to be $400 million. West dropped in financial status follows a tumultuous month for the rapper, whose anti-Semitic and racist tirades in press conferences and social media led to his cancellation. Earlier this month, after a barrage of social media bullying against Vogue editor Gabriella Carifa Johnson, following outrage over featuring White Lives Matter. And here's a point where I was not clear at. I knew he had on a White Lives Matter t-shirt, but here's the explanation for it. Over featuring White Lives Matter t-shirts in his YZY SZN9 Paris Fashion Week show. West's accounts were restricted from both Twitter and Instagram, though his profiles are still publicly visible. On October 12th, seen in a statement tweeted by conservative commentator Candace Owens, West's financial accounts will also be cut from bank JP Morgan Chase on November 21st. Prior to the fall of his Adidas partnership, which was deemed that Adidas owns the rights to any of its Yeezy partnerships' original designs, as well as forthcoming planned products, West also lost collaboration deals with Balenciaga and Gap, respectively, in both companies' Yeezy Gap collaboration. Balenciaga has removed all mentions of West, facing numerous losses, including a dropped MRC documentary, cut ties with talent agency CAA, and Vogue. So I think that's can be considered, especially for young people, a lesson in life. You know, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. So, you know, we understand a mistake can happen. But the idea is to get back in there, make the apology, you know, show some sincerity in, you know, your change of attitude in regards to what happened and your understanding as to why it's not acceptable. So this did not happen in relations specifically with what Kanye West presented, what he said, and his attitude during the whole thing. So there we have some follow-ups with people that he was doing business with and upon which his finances are based. So we'll leave that one where it's at for the moment. Jay-Z and Beyonce out with Blue Ivy. I kind of put this together in bits and pieces. So Blue Ivy spent $80,000 at an auction called Wearable Art Gallery in Santa Monica at the Waco Theater. Excuse me. So it seems that these diamond earrings that Blue Ivy took a fancy to at one time belonged to Beyonce. So the little video clip shows her standing up at the time that these diamond earrings come up, waving her paddle enthusiastically. And she won. And she won the $80,000. So it was at the same time, we'll switch over to music, that Beyonce chose to announce, auction off some tickets for her upcoming Renaissance tour next year. But she'll be going back on the road. To say the tickets are kind of high end, but that is as it is. So Blue Ivy made her $80,000 diamond earring purchase during a wearable art gallery in Santa Monica at the Waco Theater, during which the vocalist stepped out alongside her husband, Jay-Z, and eldest daughter, Blue Ivy, wearing a gorgeous old Hollywood glam look that hugged her famous curves. which seemed to be somewhat of a family affair event because Tina Knowles, I'm not sure if they say Gigi, grandma, or Mama Tina, was overseeing the event. So everybody that is somebody, I guess, was there at the Wearable Art Gallery in Santa Monica at the Waco Theater. Going back a little bit, Spotify comes up, says it will not remove Kanye West music. It doesn't violate guidelines of Spotify at this time. And it would be up to his label, Def Jam, under Good Records, as to whether or not they continue to allow his music to play there. Tech World, Quest Pro launched today for $1,500. That's coming from Metaverse. Had a few whistles and bells on it, I think, that came along with the product. $1,500 today. Quest Pro. Elon Musk finalized purchase of Twitter, with Twitter providing $13 billion in debt financing. You know, been kind of back and forth as to whether or not that would actually finalize Elon Musk buying Twitter. But the original complaints from Elon Musk was that he wanted assurances that the percentage of false accounts on Twitter would be limited, I think, to like 5% or something like that. It's close, you know, to that number, I believe. And investigation showed that it was much more than that. Excuse me. It was much more than that, and they kind of stalled on it, and then it went up to that 44 billion number, and then it dropped down a little bit, then some more back and forth. So finally, Twitter admitted that the accounts were in excess of the original agreement, and they went back to the table. So this is the latest news, that they finalized it. Twitter put up $13 billion in debt financing. Google down 2 points in the stock market. Some items for subscriptions going up $1 to $2 in Google. I think Apple and a couple of other things. And I know I've been kind of like, quote unquote, picking on Facebook and Meta as far as details and finances and things of that nature, but all of the large companies, Google included, have been down in the market, referring to the stock market. So this latest information is that Google is down 2 points. Google is owned by the Alphabet company, I believe. No play on words, I guess. But their subscription prices are going up $1 to $2. Going over to music. Taylor Swift releases 10th studio album, Midnights, and the comments began. Now, I did listen to it, and to me, it was a nice album. I like her lyrics. It might just be me and being partial or whatever, having been to one of her shows a few years ago. So anyway, the album kind of flowed. It was pretty visual and things of that nature. But as it just, I mean, if you're not sure of what I'm kind of like talking about, when Beyonce dropped Renaissance, it was like a little bit early, I think a few days early. It's supposed to be due on a Friday, came out on a Wednesday, and then the comments just rolled. What does this mean? What does that mean? Why does she have that in there? Why is the other stuff in there? And so forth and so on. So, kind of got over ourselves on that. You know, it might just be the green-eyed monster raising his head. If y'all don't know who that is, that's a little bit of jealousy. And you just got to critique and pick at people's work when they have put their time and energy into it to present it in a format that's supposed to give you a mood change, or at least make you feel good, you know, about some things. That's my understanding of music. It's supposed to make you feel good. So we got through the part about Beyonce and Renaissance. So now here's Taylor Swift. And you got the same situation going on. I listened to it. I didn't have any signals or flags come up that made me want to double check. Titles, but somewhere in the middle of it, it seemed to change to the album Folklore. So I wasn't sure. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Allergies. Wasn't sure if it was arranged like that or it just was like that because I totally missed Folklore. I will admit that I totally missed Folklore, and it was an opportunity for me to listen to it. And I thought that both of them were well put, considering the fact that he spent 2 years making this album. And I'll admit, first of all, I'm not on any of these people's level as far as music is concerned, but I appreciate music. I do, have some experience with it. I do play instruments and write and various other things like that. But it doesn't just come like, okay, I'm going to do this and you just sit down like you would like a meal, It's more like a big meal, like a Thanksgiving meal, where you start a couple days ahead and do this part of it and do that part of it. And then the last thing you do is the big part of it. And then everybody sits down and eats, Some people might come back for seconds. See what I'm saying? And plus the music industry has changed so much as far as business is concerned, the business of music, that, you have to be kind of alert on all levels. You can't just, I can do this, I can do that. And then you have no go-to plan other than just to wait and see what happens. So Taylor Swift's 10th studio album, Midnight's, is hit. And somebody says something about her saying fat. Whoopi Goldberg waded in and said my own version of her comment. Y'all need to stop. Because it went all off into the conversation of fat shaming, but I think the take on it was that Taylor Swift was standing on a scale. Instead of the scale reading the weight, it read fat. So that was a whole nother series of conversations that ended up being discussed on The View. Whoopi Goldberg had to say, what? Excuse me, that's me again. Now, Jay-Z. I saw this commentator, which I would probably have missed. I think it was on Fox, but it was maybe a individual's program. So Jay-Z released some poetry, laid it over a beat. And it's kind of like a double entree, quadruple entree on wordplay, referring to planes and different other things like that. So they broke the whole thing down, verse by verse, and gave an interpretation of it based on Jay-Z's lifestyle experiences, business moves, etc., etc. So if you can locate that, I mean, a few minutes, I wouldn't say that you would be wasting your time, but you would definitely be informed, if nothing else, about what's going on with that. Again, music related. Politics, voting, and the elections. It's technically right around the corner. The first part of November is usually given to that. Debate night takeaways, abortion, crime, and inflation dominate clashes across 4 states. Tuesday night was debate night in America. Candidates in some of the closest contests in the country met on stage just 2 weeks before Election Day, with each early and mail voting already underway in many places. So I think here here, meaning Kentucky, I think this is the last day for you to get your mail-in ballot. I've been running a few days off the actual schedule, but that kind of went like that. So that was just a few things, that struck my interest, occupied my time since I was on here last. Thought you might see a few comparisons and a few other things that's going on. So it's Wednesday, hump day sometimes. October 26, 2022. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. That's it. Hashtag